hello, and welcome to another episode of Product and Cake. Today, in the virtual recording studio, working from home, both of us, is Paul with me. How you doing, Paul?
You could also call it record from home.
Yeah.
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you? Where's your microphone?
I don't have my microphone today. I'm in the middle of a move, so no microphone. I'm sorry that my voice is not so good today. If it is not, I hope we believe in power of AI to edit this episode and make it nice and shiny and crystal clear as the other episode. But I can see also, Paul, you're working from home as well today.
Yes, this is our topic today. Working from home, recording from home, living at home, everything at home. But before we jump into that topic, let me ask you one check-in question. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be?
Ooh, that is really hard question. What one quality and ability?
Motivation and working from home?
I'm really good with motivation and working from home. And I actually have one idea, and it was the first thing popped into my mind. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more it is there. It is like enjoying sports and being good at sports. So, like, have you seen these people that are really, really interested and love going to the gym and are like super stoked about it? And any sports they touch, they're the most amazing at. Like it's the first time that they ever play football, but they are perfect. The first time that they like that amazing hand-eye coordination. Yeah, I really want to have that.
Good one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
How about you?
definitely a quality. What came to my mind very first was I would like to wake up and have the quality of designing applications, right? In my early days on web engineering, on web development, I did it also on my own, but then I realized, okay, if someone is really dedicated into design, then the result is slightly different than an engineer who's just thinking, okay, this looks more or less good. And yeah, I would like to have this ability.
So being the developer or also designing in terms of UI and user experience?
Both. Being a developer, developing UI UX designer.
Oh,
I am already able to develop everything you give me, but
oh,
I
nice. Yeah.
want to design it too.
Ah, nice. Okay. You want to be a Swiss Army knife.
Yes, exactly. And then building Swiss Army knife products for everyone.
That's smart. Yeah, that's a really good ability. That's also a very good skill to have.
I also loved this question asking in a team because last time when I did it, it turned out we in our team fit perfectly together because our quality and skills matched so perfectly. So the wishes for it, that was really nice to see. And I think it is so important to stick with this check-in questions to create a mood of, or create a kind of belonging to each other, right? Especially as we are all sitting still in home office, most of us, or some of the crazy dudes sitting alone in the office. So I would also count that as remote work. And it was quite a long time, the way how it is. But now it seems to change. What are your thoughts if someone is saying, okay, Ghonche, from next week on, you have to spend 4 days a week in the office again?
The first thing I would say is if you allow my dog to be in the office, I will come. If not, I'm sorry. I'm not going to leave my dog for 12 hours a day alone. Or if you are going to create a dog kita or or are you paying me for the dog sitter for that?
Mhm.
I will do it, but I'm not going to leave my dog alone. But beside that, I really enjoy going to the office because I like talking to people. I like the casual conversations that leads to actual innovation around our day-to-day work. And at the same time, I do see a lot of challenges with going back to the office. I feel that we do not see, because during the COVID time and working from home time, we did not see when people rest. We completely forgot that aspect also needs to exist.
Ghonche, I need to stop here for a moment. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, that is super true. The home office is definitely hiding a lot of human behavior somehow, right? And you can also barely see if someone is super exhausted, super stressed, or waking until late at night if they are smart enough to hide or to not send emails at night. On the other hand, I think the home office will not go away. I know some people who now left the city and are living somewhere else. And I also really enjoyed being at home. And I have now a nice office here at home, a good working environment, and I don't want to go every day to the office. So if you tell me you have to be in the office 4 or 5 days a week, I would say, okay, I will check what other companies are looking for people.
Okay, I'm not that strict about it. As I said, I really enjoy going to the office. My issue is, and I really liked working in the office sometimes, and also taking my time to be at home, because then at home I felt that I can have my focus time. I can really do my focus work, and then I go to the office. I will have the chats, I will have quick meetings. I don't need to schedule it 2 weeks in advance. And at the end of the day, I close my laptop. I did not need to take it every day with me back home, and then after hours to still continue working. It was, the work was done and it was left at the office. And with home office, we took the work also not only to our homes, but for a lot of us that we do not have very big homes, to our bedrooms and to our living rooms, where we eat, where we sleep, where we do normal day-to-day thing. And it became so much entangled with everything. And the fact that people are continuously in the have access to their laptops, their phones, made it easier for some companies to take advantage of that and expect people to be there 24/7.
Yeah, true. But didn't you add also the expectation from bad working environments to stay 12 hours in the office? And the first one who is leaving is obviously not working enough, or expecting everyone to be in the early hours at their desks. And then you see people try to hide that they need to sort out some private things, and they are super stressed because the dog sitter is asking a question, and you're officially not allowed to use your private phone at the office.
Yeah,
So
that's fair. To be fair, I had the privilege of not encountering so many of those, and if I did, I left immediately. So yeah, that is true. There is a both possibilities of companies taking advantage of people.
the worst thing for me is to go to the office to have all day video calls. And you run from room to room and you try to find a phone booth, and then you're sitting 6 hours in a very small, uncomfortable room. And this is what I really don't want to do, what I really like. And I totally agree with you that having time with people in the office, and having an office that is inviting to collaborate and to spend time, and to say, okay, if you need to have concentrated focus work, maybe work from home, or work from our co-working area that is more library-like, where no one is allowed to talk.
Yeah.
But finding a booth, then you don't find one, and then you sit next to your colleague who's having a call, and you have a call, and you are, in the worst case, you are in the same call, but 5 other people are not in the office officially, unfortunately. That's difficult.
Yeah, that's true. What do you do to get over it? So there's on both cases we mentioned a lot of challenges that it has. What do you do to make sure that you're recharged and it's not making a toll on you?
I think the whole return to the office discussion and also the feeling of being overworked, all of that is a proxy battle for your actual structure of work. How clear is the vision? How clear is the purpose of your team? And how well defined is your role? And how autonomous are you allowed to act? Right? And you have all these kind of problems no matter where you are and where your team is located. If you overwork your people, you will overwork them at home or in the office. That's just not changing it, as long as the way how we are working it and how we are identifying the issues in our teamwork and in the complicated technology products we try to build. As long as we don't solve this issue or continuously working on it, it makes no sense to discuss about that from my perspective.
Yeah, that is true. As long as there is not a healthy culture in place, we will have the issue. But I think even in healthy cultures, we will have the scenario of uh, having back-to-back meetings and no rest in between, whether you're in the office or in person. Um and sometimes, yes, you're in the office and you will have back-to-back meetings in a Zoom call or a Google Meet call instead of in person, because as you said, half of the people are not there. And it is it is draining. And I want to understand, in case we have already a very healthy working culture in the company, that no one in the company is taking advantage, no one expects anyone to work longer than they are supposed to, but it is still draining. How would you react to that? So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, maybe in the imaginary perfect world that would not happen because the team is so well aligned and so efficient and effective that somehow we know that we meet in person and that we set up the tasks and there's nearly no alignment needed and it is just pure creative, innovative work. But I see that this is maybe something in the future, and until we arrive to that point, we need to work with all the small tricks. One thing that is working for me very, very well is starting the meetings 5 minutes after the hour. I tested to let them end 5 minutes before. This is never working because you have always some last minute things you want to talk, and everyone is used that it ends on the hour. But if you start 5 or 10 minutes later, then you get this, you get a moment to go to the toilet to get something to drink, and this is also working for me very, very well in this 5 minute. Do a super small exercise, right? I go down and do some push-ups at least, and not too much because then I'm breathing too heavy. But if you have, let's say, 7 meetings in a row and you always do 3 minutes of sports in between, then you had quite done something at that day.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I really like setting up meetings 5 minutes early, 5 minutes late. Yeah, I should take that. I haven't started doing that yet.
What is your secret trick to survive these days?
It's so my trick used to work very, very well, but in the last 2 weeks and probably in the next week, I am letting it slide. So I hope that in 3 weeks I will be back and say, no, again, it's back to routine. It works perfectly. But I have one day in my calendar that is fully blocked. It is on a Thursday. So it's not, usually people do it on a Friday. Mine is not on a Friday because sometimes when I am in my focus time, and after that, I realize some things that I need to clarify with someone. I don't want it to let it sit over the weekend. I want to be able to address it the next day. So, but my Thursdays are sacred, and it is called Sacred Thursdays. It is a blocker on that day. No one is allowed to set any meetings on that day with me.
Okay,
And
so Yeah, sorry.
Since it's very well communicated with everyone and it is very visible in my calendar, most people respect it. And if they don't, if they forget it, or if they don't see it when they schedule a meeting, it's an automatic message that is being sent to them. So it's also not me directly telling them that, no, I don't want to meet with you on that day. It is Google Calendar telling them. So,
Yeah, that's a good one. I also tried it several times, and the biggest, the worst person who was not respecting this blocker was myself.
yes.
And I thought, okay, shit, I know I have the blocker, but there's the 30 minutes call that the team can continue work, and let's sort this one just quickly out. And then the whole thing just collapsed.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to be also in, as I said, in the last 2 weeks and probably next week, I'm not going to be very strict with it, because of the workload and some other changes that is happening. But also, I will, in case there is a meeting at that day, and I think my input is important, I would write down my notes, send it to someone that is going to be present, and I would say that, yeah, just do it without me. I don't think if I am the decision maker on that topic, maybe let's move it. If I'm not the decision maker, yeah, I'm just one person, have it without me.
Yeah, nice. That's a good thing. I had one other big issue with that approach, and that was that during the other days and during all the meetings and stuff, so many things came to my mind that so many tasks built up, and I all put them into that blocker, in that blocker day. And then the blocker arrives, I look at my to-do list and I see, okay, this is work for 2 weeks maybe. And I felt so overwhelmed and yeah, it was just too much, right? I lost my motivation on tackle that, all of that, because it was just too much.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Do you have any other tricks that you do?
Pomodoro is working for me super, super well, especially in this moment. So what I did basically is not having a full day blocker, but putting blockers in between. When I see on Friday I check the upcoming week. I see, okay, there are some spots where some connected hours are not disturbed by meetings. Then I put in some dynamic blockers. That worked out, and then most of the time, ideally, I use this Pomodoro technology where it says find one task, then concentrate for 25 minutes on it, and then do a 5-minute break, no matter what, and then decide on the next task. And I really like that one. This approach is working for me very well.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I also, one thing I did, I noted down what I consider chargers or rechargers for myself. So what gives me energy and what removes energy from me. And sometimes if I feel very low on energy, I will do something that gives me energy and just continue with that. And another thing is that s- at least this works for me. I don't know how it is for everyone else, but I don't. When I'm in a blocker in my mind, I don't start with the hardest task, which is people usually say, "Yeah, I start with the hardest task and then everything's easy." I will start with the easiest thing that I can have a quick dopamine.
Yeah.
That okay, done, and then I can cross something off which is really tiny, and then I will go from the smallest to biggest. Sometimes even I change it, like so I will do the two smallest things and then do the biggest thing because I am in the dopamine rush.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. That makes totally sense. And what I really liked what you said is identify what gives you energy
Yeah.
and what is removing energy. And I really took years to accept and also to bring into my mind that there are some kind of meetings or activities at work that really brings me energy, like sitting together with smart people and think about new projects or formulate highest risk assumptions, or sit together with great UI UX designers and discuss really how a product could become an extraordinary good product. This is so refreshing and energizing. And this is awesome. And to sell it, to accept it first, to recognize it, and then celebrate it.
Exactly.
Now, the other thing would be to realize that there are some meetings that are draining energy, and then think about, could you leave them? Could you send just a note? This is my statement to it, but I would not participate. But maybe I need some more years to come to arrive to that point.
Yeah, I haven't been able to define which kind of meetings drain my energy yet. Um, because sometimes you don't understand it until you're in the meeting and you realize that the speed is slow, or oh my god, no one else is participating, everyone seems to fall asleep. Like that drains my energy, but I'm already halfway through the meeting, so it is a little bit odd to drop out at that moment and say, yeah, not for me, bye. And what I tried to do a couple of times is maybe I start some participation, or I push a little bit energy and just go to my reserve, but it allows some other people to also start their engines.
Yeah. Maybe one important thing from my side as the last one is, whatever you do, stay in the meeting. I think the worst thing you can do is do something else while the meeting is running, right? You should have the courage to say, okay, I drop out and I do my other stuff concentrated. Or what you suggested, I take energy and I move this meeting now into a better direction. But participating and checking emails or writing tickets at the same time or testing stage environment, that's the worst thing.
To be honest, depending on the meeting, I would say it is okay. Some meetings, I treat them as podcasts. And
okay,
but those are the meetings that are, for example, like
all hands.
No, not all hands. Not things that are about the area that I'm influencing, but it is like manager training for how to deal with the next hiring process that we are going to introduce in 2020, end of 2024. Like, and it is a 22.5 hour block, and it is not participation. There is no participation because there are 500 people in that meeting.
Yeah.
And there is no room for question. And I don't want to miss that information because some part of that information is useful, but I will treat it as a podcast.
Yeah, fair. I agree to that one.
Yeah.
That's kind of a podcast.
Yeah.
Like ours.
Yeah.
And like all the other nice episodes that are in our list and that will come in one of the next episodes.
Please now recommend this podcast to your friends, colleagues, people you have meetings with, people who give you energy. And
yeah,
let us know how you feel about returning to the office policy.
And what are your tricks to survive all the craziness? Have a nice day. See you next time.
Bye.